Texas is so big that if you drove from one end to the other, you'd travel further than driving from New York to Chicago. It has more farms than any other state and more cattle than people. And in today's video, we'll take a deep look at facts that prove Texas is unlike anywhere else on Earth. Fact 1. Texas covers over 268,000 square miles, bigger than any country in Western Europe. France, Germany, the United Kingdom. Texas swallows them whole. And yet it's still not the largest piece of land in North America. That title belongs to Alaska. But Alaska doesn't have 30 million people living in it, 4 cities in the national top 10, or one of the 10 largest economies on the planet. Size alone doesn't tell the whole story. What Texas does with its size, that's where things get interesting. Fact 2. Texas contains 10 different climate zones in a single state. Drive west toward El Paso and the landscape turns dry and rocky, more like New Mexico than anything most people picture. Drive east toward Louisiana and you're in dense piney woods with humidity that sits on your skin. Drive south to the coast and you'll find palm trees and barrier islands. Drive north into the Panhandle and the land flattens into something almost infinite. It doesn't look like one place. It looks like 5 completely different states stitched together and told to share a flag. Fact 3. Texas has its own power grid. It is called ERCOT, the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, and it operates almost completely separate from the rest of the United States. No other state does this. The reason goes back decades. Texas didn't want the federal government telling it how to manage its energy. For most of the state's modern history, that independence worked fine. But in February of 2021, a brutal winter storm hit the state, and temperatures dropped to levels the system was never designed to handle. Pipes froze. Power plants went offline. Millions of Texans lost power for days, in sub-freezing temperatures with no heat and no running water. Over 200 people died. The failure exposed how the cost of independence can fall hardest on people who had nothing to do with the decision. Fact 4. If Texas were its own country, its economy would rank in the top 10 largest in the entire world, bigger than Australia, bigger than South Korea, bigger than Russia. The state produces everything from technology and aerospace to agriculture, energy, and manufacturing. And in recent years, it has become a magnet for major corporations. Tesla moved there, Oracle moved there, Hewlett-Packard moved there, Goldman Sachs expanded there. The pitch is consistent: lower taxes, lower cost of living, fewer regulations, a workforce that keeps growing. Whatever you think of the politics, the numbers don't lie. Fact 5. Texas produces more wind energy than any other state, and more than most entire countries. The flat open plains of West Texas make it one of the best natural locations on Earth for wind farms. Drive through the Panhandle and you'll see thousands of white turbines stretching in every direction across the open sky. Texas didn't set out to become a green energy leader. It happened almost by accident. The same vast empty land that had always been a challenge became an asset. Today, Texas generates more wind power than the next 3 states combined. Fact 6. The King Ranch in Texas is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island. One single ranch, spanning over 825,000 acres, operating continuously since 1853. Rhode Island covers just over 776,000 acres total. The King Ranch is larger. It's not just a historic landmark either. It's a fully working ranch with tens of thousands of cattle, its own breed of horse, its own oil and gas operations, and its own zip code. It employs entire communities. It is less a ranch and more a small nation with very good fences. Fact 7. Texas has more airports than any other state, over 700 public and private airports spread across its land. That number exists because the state is simply too big to rely on highways alone. Driving from one end to the other takes over 12 hours. Driving from Dallas to El Paso alone takes over 10 hours. For businesses operating across the state, flying isn't a luxury. It's often the only practical option. Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport consistently ranks among the busiest in the world, and hundreds of smaller regional airports keep the rest of this enormous place connected. Fact 8. Texas produces more oil than any country in the world except Saudi Arabia and Russia. Not more than other states, more than entire countries. The Permian Basin in West Texas sits on one of the largest oil deposits ever discovered. Not long ago, it looked like one of the most useless stretches of land in America, flat, dry, remote, and brutal. The discovery of oil changed everything. Towns that barely existed a generation ago are now booming. The ground underneath West Texas helped fuel American industry for most of the 20th century, and it is still producing at rates that most experts didn't think were possible even a decade ago. Fact 9. Texas is one of only 2 states in the U.S. that was once its own independent country. From 1836 to 1845, it was called the Republic of Texas. It had its own president, its own army, its own currency, and its own flag. It negotiated with foreign nations, it made its own laws, and for nearly a decade, it existed completely separate from the United States. The decision to join wasn't automatic. There were years of debate. Some Texans wanted to stay independent, others pushed for annexation. In the end, the Republic chose to join, but it negotiated its way in on its own terms with conditions that still technically exist today. Fact 10. When Texas joined the United States, it reserved the right to divide itself into up to 5 separate states at any time. That right technically still exists today. It has never been used, but it has also never been revoked. If Texas ever exercised it, the U.S. Senate would jump from 100 seats to 108 overnight. The balance of power in Washington could shift in ways that are difficult to fully predict. It hasn't happened, but the option, tucked into a nearly 180-year-old agreement, has never gone away. Fact 11. The word Texas comes from a Caddo Native American word meaning friends or allies. The Caddo people lived in what is now East Texas for centuries before any European arrived. When Spanish explorers made contact, the Caddo used the word Tasha to greet them. The Spanish recorded it phonetically, and over time it became the name of the entire territory. It's one of the few state names in the U.S. that traces directly back to the people who were there first. So every time someone says the word Texas, they're using a word the Caddo spoke long before anyone drew a border across this land. Fact 12. Texas has had 6 different flags fly over it: Spain, France, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the Confederacy, and the United States. No other state comes close. Each flag represents not just a change in government, but a completely different era. Different languages, different laws, different cultures. The Spanish were here for nearly 300 years. The French had a brief and troubled presence. Mexico controlled the territory after independence from Spain. Then came the Republic, the Confederacy, and finally the United States. 6 flags, 6 stories, 1 piece of ground. Fact 13. The Battle of the Alamo took place in 1836 in what is now San Antonio. A small group of Texan fighters, somewhere between 180 and 260 men, held off a Mexican army of several thousand soldiers for 13 straight days. They were massively outnumbered from the beginning. They knew it. They chose to stay anyway. On March 6th, the Mexican forces overwhelmed the garrison. Every defender was killed, including Jim Bowie, William Barrett Travis, and Davy Crockett. The defeat should have ended the rebellion. Instead, it ignited it. Remember, the Alamo spread like wildfire, and 6 weeks later, Texas won its independence. The Alamo didn't save Texas, but the idea of the Alamo did. Fact 14. Texas joined the Confederacy during the Civil War. After the war ended, enslaved people in Texas were among the last to be told they were free. The Emancipation Proclamation had been issued in January of 1863. The war itself ended in April of 1865, but it wasn't until June 19, 1865, more than 2 months after the war had already ended, that Union soldiers arrived in Galveston with the official announcement of freedom. That day became known as Juneteenth. Black communities across Texas began celebrating it every year, with cookouts, music, prayer, and the recognition of a freedom that should have come long before it did. For over 150 years, it was recognized primarily in Texas. Then, in 2021, it became a federal holiday, one of the few American holidays with its roots planted directly in Texas soil. Fact 15. The city of Houston was built almost entirely on swampland. Engineers pumped out water, raised the ground, and constructed one of the largest cities in America from what was essentially a coastal marsh. Today, Houston is the fourth biggest city in the entire country. What makes it even more unusual is that Houston has no zoning laws. None. In every other major American city, zoning laws dictate where homes can be built, where businesses operate, and where factories can go. Houston threw that rulebook out. As a result, a house can legally sit right next to an industrial plant. A church can sit beside a nightclub. The city looks like it was designed by a committee that couldn't agree on anything, because in a sense, it was. The result is chaotic, confusing, and one of the most fascinating urban environments in the world. Fact 16. Texas carries out more executions than any other state in the United States. Since the death penalty was reinstated in 1976, Texas has executed more people than all other states combined. That's not a near miss. It's more than all others put together. Supporters argue it reflects a consistent stance on the most serious crimes. Critics point to cases where evidence emerged after the fact that raised serious questions about guilt, questions that can never be answered because the person was already gone. Whatever your position, the scale of what Texas has carried out over 50 years is impossible to ignore. Fact 17. The Texas State Capitol building in Austin is taller than the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. It was built that way on purpose. The architects in the 1880s were given a clear message. This building should reflect the scale and ambition of Texas. The Texas Capitol stands 308 feet tall. The U.S. Capitol stands 289 feet. When it was completed in 1888, it was one of the largest structures in the entire country, built almost entirely from a distinctive sunset red granite quarried from a hill 75 miles away. Today, it still towers over downtown Austin, a reminder that Texas has never been interested in coming in second place. Fact 18. Texas has more species of birds than any other state, over 650 different species recorded within its borders. Birdwatchers from around the world travel to South Texas specifically to see species that exist almost nowhere else north of the Mexican border. The Rio Grande Valley is considered one of the premier birdwatching destinations on the planet. The reason comes down to geography. Texas sits at the intersection of multiple major migration corridors, and the sheer diversity of its habitats, wetlands, desert, mountains, grasslands, means there's somewhere for almost every kind of bird to land. Fact 19. The official state animal of Texas is the longhorn. These cattle, with horns that can stretch over 6 feet from tip to tip, were bred from cattle brought over by Spanish explorers and adapted over generations to the harsh Texas landscape. After the Civil War, they were everywhere, but as ranching modernized, the breed's population collapsed to the edge of extinction. A small group of dedicated ranchers worked to bring them back. Today, longhorns roam across the state again in enough numbers to keep the breed alive. They are walking history, a genetic link to the cattle drives, the open range, and the era that made Texas what it is. Fact 20. Texas is one of the few places in the United States where it is legal to own a pet alligator without a special permit in certain counties. The Gulf Coast region is home to hundreds of thousands of wild alligators. They live in the rivers, the bayous, the retention ponds, and occasionally the swimming pools of people who would prefer they didn't. Some residents of the Texas coast have lived alongside alligators for their entire lives, and the relationship is about as casual as you'd expect from people who have been doing it for generations. Wildlife officers field calls regularly from people reporting alligators on their porches, in their garages, and crossing neighborhood streets. In some parts of Texas, this is not an emergency. It is Tuesday. Fact 21. The breakfast taco was born in Texas. Specifically, food historians trace its origins to the Mexican and Tex-Mex communities of Austin and San Antonio, where the tradition of wrapping eggs, meat, cheese, and salsa into a warm flour tortilla has existed for generations. What was once a regional tradition has become a billion-dollar food category sold in chain restaurants, airport terminals, and grocery stores across the entire country. The breakfast taco now exists in cities that have no particular connection to Texas, served by people who may not even know where it came from. Texas knows where it came from, and Texas will remind you every chance it gets. Fact 22. Texas has some of the strangest laws still on the books in the United States. It is illegal to sell your eye in Texas. It is illegal to shoot a buffalo from the second floor of a hotel, specific enough to suggest it happened at least once. In the city of LaForce, it is illegal to take more than 3 swallows of beer while standing up. Nobody knows exactly when these laws were written or why they've never been removed. They sit quietly in the legal code, monuments to moments in Texas history that nobody bothered to follow up on. Fact 23. Texas is the second most populated state in the United States. Over 30 million people call it home, and the number grows every single day. People are leaving expensive coastal cities and moving to Texas for lower taxes, cheaper housing, and more space than most American cities can offer. The influx has started to reshape the state's political, cultural, and economic identity. Cities that were once solidly conservative have become competitive. Suburbs that didn't exist 30 years ago now hold hundreds of thousands of people. Texas is one of the fastest changing major states in the country. Fact 24. 4 of the 10 fastest growing cities in the United States are in Texas. Georgetown, Conroe, McKinney, and New Braunfels have all exploded in size over the last decade. These aren't just suburbs absorbing overflow. They're becoming significant cities in their own right. New Braunfels sits along one of the most rapidly developing corridors in the country, between San Antonio and Austin. Georgetown, just north of Austin, has grown so fast that roads, schools, and water systems are being built in real time just to keep up. Fact 25. Texas has produced more U.S. presidents than any other state except Ohio and Virginia. Dwight D. Eisenhower was born in Denison, Texas. Lyndon B. Johnson was born in Stonewall, Texas. George H.W. Bush made Texas his home for decades and represented it in Congress. George W. Bush was governor of Texas before becoming president. 4 presidents with deep Texas roots, each of them leaving a mark on the country in completely different ways. Eisenhower commanded Allied forces in World War II before entering politics. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act into law. The 2 Bushes shaped American foreign policy on opposite sides of the Cold War's end. The thread connecting all of them runs back to Texas. Fact 26. NASA's Johnson Space Center is located in Houston, Texas. When American astronauts go to space, the voice guiding them from the ground is in Houston. The phrase, "Houston, we have a problem," spoken during the Apollo 13 crisis in 1970, didn't come from nowhere. That building has been the nerve center of American human spaceflight since 1961. The moon landings were managed from Houston. The Space Shuttle program was managed from Houston. The International Space Station is managed from Houston. For more than 60 years, every time a human being left the surface of the Earth in an American spacecraft, the people responsible for bringing them back were sitting in a building outside of Houston, Texas. Fact 27. Texas is home to more Fortune 500 company headquarters than any other state in the United States. ExxonMobil, AT&T, American Airlines, Dell Technologies, and dozens of other major corporations have their roots in Texas. The combination of no state income tax, a business-friendly regulatory environment, affordable land, and a massive labor pool has made the state one of the most attractive places in the country to build and run a large company. And the list keeps growing. As companies have left high-cost states in search of lower overhead, Texas has consistently been the destination. The state has spent decades quietly building one of the most powerful concentrations of corporate power in the world, without most people outside the business community noticing. Fact 28. San Antonio is home to Joint Base San Antonio, the largest military installation in the United States. It spans 3 separate locations across the city and employs over 250,000 military and civilian personnel. Texas has always had a deep relationship with the U.S. military, stretching back to before the state joined the Union, through the Texas Rangers, Civil War regiments, World War II training camps, and Cold War missile sites. Today, San Antonio is one of the most significant military cities in the world, and that connection remains one of the defining features of Texas identity. Fact 29. Texas is the birthplace of the frozen margarita machine. A Dallas restaurant owner named Mariano Martinez invented it in 1971 after a frustrating morning trying to make consistent hand-blended margaritas for a lunch rush moving too fast. He modified a soft-serve ice cream machine, loaded it with his family's recipe, and served the first machine-dispensed frozen margaritas that afternoon. Billions are now sold every year around the world. The original machine is currently on display at the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. Fact 30. Texas has a town called Dish that got its name from a deal it made with a satellite TV company. In 2005, the town, then called Clark, agreed to rename itself after the Dish Network satellite television company. In exchange, Dish Network provided free satellite TV service, along with free DVR equipment and HD programming, to every single resident for 10 years. The town had fewer than 200 households at the time. The company got years of national news coverage and advertising from the story alone. The town got free TV. Nobody involved seemed to think it was a strange arrangement. The town's original name was Clark. Nobody calls it that anymore. The sign at the edge of town says Dish. And somewhere in a marketing meeting in 2005, someone got a very large bonus. Fact 31. Texas is so wide that El Paso, the city on its western edge, is actually closer to Los Angeles, California than it is to Dallas, Texas. El Paso to Los Angeles is roughly 800 miles. El Paso to Dallas is over 600 miles by road, but the point stands. 2 cities inside the same state are separated by a distance greater than many people travel in an entire road trip. El Paso sits in a completely different time zone than the rest of Texas. It shares a metro area with Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. Culturally, economically, and geographically, it has more in common with New Mexico and northern Mexico than it does with Houston or Austin. It is, in many ways, a city that happens to be in Texas rather than a city that feels like Texas. Fact 32. Texas has an official state mushroom. It is called the Texas star mushroom, formerly known as Chorioactis geester, and it is one of the rarest fungi on the planet. It grows only in 2 places in the entire world, certain parts of central Texas and a small region of Japan. Scientists have never fully explained why a mushroom exists only in those 2 locations and nowhere else in between. The Texas star was named the official state mushroom in 2021. Most people are not aware that states can even have official mushrooms. Texas has one, because of course it does. And because nothing about Texas is content to be ordinary, its mushroom is also a scientific mystery that has puzzled researchers for over a century. Fact 33. The deadliest natural disaster in United States history did not happen in California or Florida. It happened in Galveston, Texas, in September of 1900. A massive hurricane made landfall on the island city with almost no warning. The storm surge swallowed the island. An estimated 6,000 to 12,000 people died in a single night. The numbers have never been pinned down, precisely because so many people and records simply disappeared. At the time, Galveston was one of the wealthiest cities in the American South, with the largest cotton port in the country. The hurricane ended that in hours. Galveston never fully recovered its former prominence. In the aftermath, the city built a massive seawall and raised the island's entire elevation. The disaster permanently changed how America approaches hurricane preparedness and the risks of building on low-lying coastal ground. Fact 34. Texas is home to Palo Duro Canyon, the second largest canyon in the United States. It stretches 120 miles long, up to 20 miles wide, and drops 800 feet deep in places, carved into the flat plains of the Texas Panhandle over millions of years. Most people have never heard of it. The Grand Canyon absorbs all the attention and the tourists. But people who have stood at the rim of Palo Duro and looked out across its layers of red, orange, and white rock tend to stop talking and just stare. It is enormous, ancient, and beautiful, sitting quietly in a part of Texas that most visitors never think to go. Fact 35. There's a stretch of road in West Texas, about 9 miles east of the small town of Marfa, where you can pull off the highway at a designated viewing area and watch lights appear in the desert night. The Marfa lights have been reported for well over a century. They appear as glowing orbs, sometimes white, sometimes colored, floating and drifting across the dark landscape. They blink, they split apart, they merge back together. Then they disappear. Scientists have studied them. The most widely accepted explanation is atmospheric refraction, light from distant vehicles bending through layers of air at different temperatures. But that explanation doesn't satisfy everyone, and it doesn't account for sightings that predate cars on those roads. Some say it's physics. Some say it's something that science hasn't caught up to yet. Either way, they keep appearing. Texas has been a republic, a battlefield, a boom town, and a mystery all at once, and it is still all of those things simultaneously. It has shaped American history more than most people realize, and it shows no signs of slowing down. The Marfa lights still haven't been explained. The right to split into 5 states has never been used, and somewhere out in those 268,000 square miles, there are stories that haven't been told yet. Texas isn't finished, not even close. The U.S. is way crazier than you think. Subscribe for more insane state facts, and let's keep traveling together.